This Monday Night Football betting preview edition of the NFL Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code SGPN on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app and use promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL and win up to 20 times your money in one game. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus of up to $500. Finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everyone, to the NFL Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Sunday afternoon, currently 1:34 on the East Coast, right in the midst of NFL Week 4 on Sunday afternoon. But hey, we're grinders here. Even though we got football going on, we're going to get you guys ahead of the Monday Night Football game. Got the Seattle Seahawks visiting the New York Football Giants. And joining me here to help me break it all down, you guys know him as the voice of the NBA Gambling Podcast, the MLB Gambling Podcast, and of course here on the NFL Gambling Podcast. Got my partner in crime here with me. It's Lonte Smith. Lonte, how's it going, my man? How you doing, bro?
Man, not bad. Doing pretty good. The game's starting off kind of in my favor, so that's always a good feeling. But yeah, I'm looking forward to breaking down this Monday night matchup. I think it's I guess it would be one of the more intriguing Monday night games that we've seen from a competitive standpoint, at least on paper, and the point spread tells us that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we'll get to the spread and everything in a bit, but like you're right, it's right around like -1, -1.5. So books are definitely expecting a close matchup in this one between the Seahawks and the New York Football Giants. Last week I had the Bucks plus the 5.5. Didn't work out in my favor. How would your picks do last week here, Lonte?
I leaned to Philly. Love the under. I think the under got home pretty easily.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite plays, and Rashad White under his rush yards. Thought that was pretty easy. I think that was my best bet for the show.
Yeah.
That was pretty easy. Lean to Philly. I didn't really pull the trigger on it. I was kind of iffy about it just because of how they've been performing throughout the first few weeks. So I wasn't really confident, especially on the road. But yeah, I think I did well from a prop standpoint and just how I handicapped the game. I just didn't fire on the side, just completely on the total and a few props. But I think that was pretty good. So I'm looking forward to keeping it going here on this week.
Yeah, hopefully we can carry some more of the momentum that we've started the season with here on this Monday Night Football game. But we got your team in action, the New York Football Giants. They are hosting the Seattle Seahawks. I don't want to say two teams going in opposite directions, but it's definitely been a slow start here for the New York Football Giants. They started off the week one against the Dallas Cowboys. They lost that game of 40-0. They did come back against the Arizona Cardinals in the second half of week two matchup. They got their first victory of the season there on the road, 31-28. And then they went on the road again to take on probably the best team in the football or the NFL this season. The San Francisco 49ers got beat there 30-12. I think that was on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday Night Football. And this week, they're back at home. Extended rest for them, after playing a Thursday Night Football game against the Seahawks. Seahawks, on the other hand, sitting with a record of 2-1. They lost their week one matchup against the Los Angeles Rams in a division game, but have put together back-to-back wins on the road against the Detroit Lions in week two, 37-31. And then in week three against the Panthers at home, they got the victory 37-27 in that game. So let's just kick it off here, Lonte. We'll start here with some of the injury news for both of these teams. I'll start here with the road team first. For the Seattle Seahawks, currently seeing Artie Burns, cornerback, is going to be out for this game for the Seattle Seahawks. He's dealing with a hamstring issue. Offensive tackle, Charles Cross, he's dealing with a toe issue. He's actually listed doubtful for this game. Kobe Bryant, cornerback, is also doubtful for this game. He also has a toe injury. Derek Hall, linebacker, questionable with a knee injury. They do get back Jamal Adams, who has missed the past, I don't even know how many days for this Seattle Seahawks team. So that's a big get back for them, especially with all the injuries that they are dealing in the secondary for this Seattle Seahawks team. A couple more injury news here. Noah Fant is also questionable for Monday, as well as Will Disley. So they're a little bit thin at that tight end position. For the New York Football Giants, obviously the big news or the big injury they are dealing with is Saquon Barkley. He is a true game time decision, currently listed as doubtful, but we'll find out more probably right up until game time if Saquon's going to be able to go in this game against the Seattle Seahawks. And Andrew Thomas has been ruled out for this offensive line of the New York Giants. He's dealing with a hamstring injury as well. And I also did see, I think Daniel Bellinger is also listed as doubtful for this game for the New York Football Giants. So injuries on both sides of the field here, or for both teams here, and on both sides of the field here for the respective teams here. But Lonte, let's start with the side here first, and then we'll work our way to the total and the player props here. Currently seeing the line opened up in favor of the Seahawks at -1. That number is now up to -1.5 consensus. Total was the big move. 44.5 was the opening number. That number has settled at around 47 across most of the books here. Let's start with the side here. Let's call it -1.5 in favor of the Seahawks. What are you liking about this game?
Yeah, so I'm liking the Giants in this spot. I think it's a good right
shocker.
spot. Right. I think it's a good spot for them. I mean, even without Saquon, a lot of the injuries up front for Seattle kind of worry me. They haven't been able to run the ball. If you've seen Walker, his explosiveness has been kind of limited. I think his season high is maybe like 65, 66 yards, and that was on probably about 18, 19 carries. So not really been efficient with running the football. And we all know that's what Pete Carroll wants to hang his hat on, being a run team first. And, I mean, DK is a little bit banged up too. He's going to play, but he is a little bit banged up. Lockett was also – he's been banged up since week 1. So I just think that the main thing is, can the Giants expose what Seattle's defense does bad, and they don't defend the pass well. Daniel Jones has struggled. The offensive line has struggled. So I'm hoping that the front can at least give Daniel Jones some time, because I think the opportunity for big plays, explosive plays to Hyatt, Slayton, and Waller are going to be there. So if they can hold up front, the run game, it is going to be what it is. Obviously not as explosive and not as efficient without Saquon, but Breida was fine last week. I didn't think he did a horrible job. He was fine. And I just think that Daniel Jones will be able to, beat him with his feet. They play a lot of man coverage. So, the middle of the field is going to be open. It could be a big Waller game. But I like the Giants in this spot. I think it's a good spot for them. If they can just be more balanced and not have to drop back Daniel Jones 40 times and just keep them off balance, I think they'll be good to go. But I just don't trust Seattle defensively. The offense has been, like I said, has been up and down. I mean, Geno has been up and down as well. They can't run the ball. So without those offensive linemen, and two of the better offensive linemen, I think Charles Cross grades out one of the better tackles in the league. So I think that'll be good up front with Dexter Lawrence, Thibodeau, and some of those other guys up front. The Giants have a really strong front forward. So I'm looking forward to them getting after the quarterback. I do agree. I don't agree with the line move. I think that Giants at home will be live here. I guess it's proper to say live, but they're only 1.5 point dogs. But yeah, I like the Giants here. I think they went outright.
Yeah, the last time these two teams met up was last season, I believe, in Seattle, and the Seattle Seahawks got the victory there 27-13. But I think the one biggest concern, and I'm sure as a fan of the Giants, you probably have the same concern for the Giants, is that they need to get out to a fast start, right? Because they haven't scored a touchdown yet in the first half of this season. They've been outscored 63-6 in that first half, and they're already, at least for the first 3 games, been playing behind in the first half, right? We saw what happened in the first game against the Dallas Cowboys, the block kick that was returned for a touchdown. And then we saw in week 2, they got out to a deficit in that first half, had to come from behind. And then against the San Francisco 49ers, the opportunity, I mean, the game was close, but then again, at the end, it just, the 49ers were able to flex their muscles a little bit and then, pull away and cover that game. So I think one key for me, if the Giants want to have success in this game, is that they're going to have to come out to a fast start. And I know that Coach Brian Daboll has acknowledged that they have to come out from the get-go, set the tone for this team. But I'm leaning with the Giants here as well. I haven't seen a soul that is on the Giants in this game. And I think that, the line is indicative of that move right now, because like we mentioned, They opened up as a 1-point favorite, see 1.5, seeing some 2 starting to pop up for the Seahawks here as well. But this might be a great teaser leg as well for
Yeah,
the
definitely,
San Francisco
definitely.
Giants. If
Yep.
you move them up to a 7.5 point teaser, and then maybe do something for week 5 as far as a teaser. But I lean with the Giants here as well, plus 1.5 in this game. Total also has a big move here, Lonte. Before I get to the total, let me tell everyone where they can actually get tickets to go watch this game, because again, this seems like it's going to come down to the wire. And if you're in the Meadowlands, you want to get out to this game here, let Game Time take that stress away for you to buy those tickets to this game. A lot of people use some different outlets, whether, I don't want to name any other places, but Game Time, they're the best, man. Stop wasting time. Just download the app, because buying tickets to your favorite events, like I mentioned, it doesn't have to be stressful, man. You got to get excited for these events and not worry about the hassle of buying the tickets, right? And Game Time is fast, and there's an easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets, the best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you're going to have. The app is absolutely amazing. Like I mentioned, they have great flash deals, last-minute tickets available. So if you're getting off of work, trying to get to the game, you're in the Meadowlands area, just take out Game Time, and they always have last-minute tickets available. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event area, not just for football, but they also have basketball tickets into the college basketball and the NBA season around the corner. Unfortunately for the state of New York and the Jersey area, they don't have a baseball team that's going to make it to the playoffs there. But they still have the shows for comedy tickets and theater as well. And the best thing I love about the app here is that anytime you go in to buy tickets, you can actually see an image of your seat, because a lot of times we buy tickets, there may be some type of obstruction in your in your viewing area. You don't have to worry about that, because Game Time, the app, actually gives you a picture of your view for that particular venue. So lowest price are guaranteed, event cancellation protection as well. Get exclusive flash deals like I mentioned on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much more. The Game Time guarantee means you get the best price, and if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you're all set to go. And the tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code SGPN for $20 off. Download Game Time app, last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has a way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game by going 5 for 5. And from now until October 4th, Underdog is matching 100% of your first deposit of up to $500. Plus, they're giving away $100,000 on Sundays on Underdog Fantasy. That's a total of $2 million in prizes, as well as $100,000 prizes each week on Sundays. 10,000 to 10 lucky people on Underdog Fantasy. And they have new sweepstakes every week of the NFL season. So watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, UnderdogFantasy.com. When you sign up with promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy using promo code SGPN. All right, Lonte, like I mentioned, the total has seen some move here. It opened up around 44.5. That number is now up to 47. Do you have any leans or thoughts on this total here, 47?
Yeah, I definitely like the number better at 44 on open. I missed it too. I think it got hit as soon as it's posted. I think it got hit right away. But I mean, like we both talked about, I think both defenses do have their deficiencies, and if, like I said, if Giants can protect Jones just for a little bit more time. I mean, he's getting probably pressured I think he's getting the most pressured QB in the NFL to this point. And the offense is just not giving him enough time to make any decisions. I mean, even when they do, I mean, he's not making the right decision because he's kind of rushing it. But I do think that he'll be able to get time up front, because the front of Seattle is not like overbearing or anything like that. So I think the offensive line will perform better, and running the ball will help that also. So if they can stay balanced, keep the defense keep the defense guessing, I think Daniel Jones will be able to have an effective game here. Same with Seattle. I mean, we saw what Dallas was able to do, even in the short time that they had the ball. They didn't have the ball a lot they didn't have a negative game script at all. So it was more running the ball. But when they wanted to pass the ball, you kind of see the secondary of the Giants kind of not being as good. They were penalty ridden last game. So I think if Geno can Stay upright. I think he'll have a good game as well. I do lean over. I just can't play it at 47. It's too inflated right now, but I would lean to the over.
Yeah, I would lean towards the over as well. Again, like you mentioned, I mean, it got slammed as soon as his number opened up at 44.5, and now up to 47. I'm not comfortable giving that out. Seattle's tried the 3 games, have gone over the total for the Giants. It's been 2 out of 3 that have gone under the total. But I think if you want to break it down by half, I think that if the Giants get out to a slow start again, you probably want to come back and look at the second half over in this game. Just because, like we mentioned, that the Giants have been making a run in that second half. And I'm trying to pull up the exact numbers here as far as, first half scoring and second half scoring in particular for the New York Giants here. So first half points, let's see here. So Seattle is round around league average at 10.7 points per game in the first half. The New York Giants are dead last. Like I mentioned, they haven't scored a touchdown in the first half yet of the regular season. They're only averaging 2 points in that first half. Now we compare that to the second half here, Lonte. Seattle in the second half, they're number 3 at 16.3 points per game in the second half, and the New York Giants 12.3. So that's an average right around 28 points in that second half. So I think for me that if this first half does end up going, the first half does go under the total, or if it's a slow start for both teams, I'm going to come back on that second half over because, like we mentioned, both of these teams like to turn it up in that second half. So that's which way I'm leaning in this game. Let's get over to some player props here, and then we'll talk about some touchdown props as well. Lonte, any player props that we are looking at in this game?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that this number is still here.
What are you looking for?
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Receiving yards?
I'm looking for his receptions.
Let's see here. I don't see him listed at
I didn't see it either.
Let me try another place here. Wan'Dale. Because he's not on the injury report either. So I don't know why
he's not. I mean, he came back last week. He's a different dynamic. He brings a different dynamic as far as receiver. A lot of underneath stuff. He's good at the middle of the field, which allows the open plays to slate in the high. I mean, obviously the Giants have played 2 of the better defenses, like you mentioned at the top, in the NFL in Dallas and San Francisco. So the strength of schedule is a little bit more in depth than what Seattle's played. So they'll be more equipped to it. And like I was mentioning, Seattle's defense is not even in the same category as those 2 teams.
Right.
And again, like you mentioned, they struggled early on with the Cardinals, but you can see the offense kind of open up at the end of the second half because of, it's just like you got to be in Hail Mary mode. So they came in, they got some pace to them. They were able to run the ball. But again, that was with Saquon. It's a different dynamic with Brightwell and Breida in the background. I mean, Breida only got 4 carries last week. Obviously, negative game script played a part in that. So I'll be looking at Breida to go over his rush yards. I think Seattle up front is susceptible to allowing a decent amount of plays here. And I'll be on Wan'Dale Robinson's receptions because I think underneath is where you'll be able to get, and he's a good yards after catch guy. So I'll look at Wan'Dale Robinson when that prop drops. But one of my favorites is probably going to be Breida over his rushing yards. Did you see a number on Breida?
Breida's rushing yards. Let's see here. Monday Night Football. I don't think it's listed. Oh, yeah. So I'm sorry. I do 49.5 at plus 114. But let me see if I can find a better number.
Let's see.
Matt Breida. Let's see here. I see a 45.5 at PointsBet. That's probably that's the best number out there. And there's 47.5 at FanDuel.
Yeah. So I'll take the lower number. You said it's not juiced, is it?
Actually, the over on PointsBet is at minus 125, on a FanDuel minus 114. That's the best at 47.5.
Yeah, I'll take the 114. That's perfect.
Yeah, I think you mentioned earlier the guy that I think that's going to have a big game here, Darren Waller. You take a look at what Seattle has done against the tight end position. Just has not been very good. They're allowing the 3rd most receptions to that tight end position, 5.7 receptions per game on 7.3 targets. And the yardage, they're allowing the 3rd most as well, 76.7 in this game. And you kind of take a look at what they've done against the tight end, or what tight ends have done against the New York Giants. I'm sorry, against the Seattle Seahawks in the first 3 weeks. Week 1, Tyler Higbee, 3 receptions, 49 yards. Sam Laporta in week 2, 5 receptions, 63 yards. And the Panthers, I know they're more running back by committee, but they accumulated 34 yards in that game, only on 3 receptions. But you mentioned that Darren Waller is probably a big part of this offense. for this New York Football Giants team. So now I'm looking at his receiving yards. That number is currently at 47.5. I see a 46.5 at FanDuel and 45.5 at PointsBet as well. Trying to find his receptions here. If it's anything at 3.5, I think that's a smash spot.
I like that too. I mean, just because underneath, I mean, you're gonna find a lot of soft spots underneath because the Seahawks play a lot of man coverage, so they're gonna probably be looking to jam. If they get off a lot of slant routes, a lot of bubble screens, so it's gonna be a lot of yards at the catch. And Daniel Jones should be able to get the ball off quick to get it in the playmaker's hands because one broken tackle and they're off to the races.
Yeah, I don't see a receptions number yet, but I do like that 45.5, 46.5 for Darren Waller to get over on his receiving yards in this game. Looking at the Seattle side of things, I'm not sure what the blaring weakness is for the New York Giants. Lonte, you could probably tell me more if it's their running game or their rush defense that's weak, or is it you think this is their passing game that's weaker?
Yeah, definitely the pass. I think the front is the strength of the defense. I mean, a lot of penalties. Adoree is probably the only. We're playing a lot of young guys, Deontay Banks, and on one side. And I want to say we're down to our third string slot corner. So they had to move Adoree to the slot. So now we've got more young guys on the outside. But maybe it was just a game-to-game thing because maybe Adoree was more so playing Debo because, Ayuk wasn't there. So it was more so of a matchup thing. Not sure what's going to be the game plan this week with, Lockett, DK, and then you got Smith and Jigba in the slot as well. So I would definitely look at some pass catchers for the Seahawks. Maybe look at the tight end position as well. You mentioned Fant is going to be out. I think the backup tight end is Parkinson, if I'm not mistaken. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Parkinson?
they have. So it's Noah Fant, it's Will Disley, and then Kobe Parkinson is the three.
Yeah. I like both of those
Parkinson
guys.
might be the guy.
Yeah, both of those guys. If you can find some over props on their yardage, I like them. I mean, I'm probably going to lean to Smith and Jigba because DK and Lockett are banged up. But man, Tyler Lockett, all he does is catch touchdown passes. So if Geno gets going and they can get the run game going, it's going to open up the floodgates for that pass game because, like I said, the front of the Giants is the strength of the defense without a doubt.
I think the one guy that has to shine in this game, it has to be Daniel Jones because you take a look at the three quarterbacks and what they've done against this Seahawks defense. Matthew Stafford, week 1, 24 of 38, 334 yards. Week 2, Jared Goff, 28 of 35, 323 yards. Last week, Andy Dalton, 34 of 58, 361 yards. So they've allowed a minimum of 320 yards to the quarterback position, have the Seattle Seahawks defense. So do you have a FanDuel up in front of you there, Lonte?
No, but I could pull it up there real quick.
Because I see a 220.5 on Daniel Jones's passing yards. I think that might just be my most favorite play as far as a player prop or even anything in this game, to say the least.
Yeah, let me
for the New York Giants here, but
let's see.
Let me see if I can pull it up too.
Where we at?
Because this number is varying from 220.5 all the way to, I see all the way up to 231.5 at DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see. You said Daniel Jones pass yards?
Yeah, Daniel Jones passing yards.
I see 220.5 minus 114 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I think that's a smash spot for
I like that.
For Daniel Jones in this game. All right, Lonte, before we get some touchdown props here, let me tell everyone about Hall of Fame bets. Win bigger at betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bets with Circle stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame bets, revolutionary parlay optimizer to hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any team to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bet app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Again, start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame bets. All right, Lonte, let's do some touchdown props here, guys. We think are going to find the end zone, and then we'll get to our best bets to wrap up this Monday Night Football preview. Who do you like to find the end zone in this game?
Let's see. Let me make sure we got the updated numbers. I'm gonna go with. Are we just doing? You want to do first, or you want to do?
Yeah, we could do both if you want to go. We could do first touchdown, and then we could do anytime touchdown. We're flexible here. We don't.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'll go with one on each side.
Okay.
I'll go with Kobe Parkinson. Was it 5-1? Do you see anything better than 5-1?
Let me see here. Touchdown score.
I'm seeing 5-1 DraftKings, FanDuel.
Let me see. You said Kobe Parkinson?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Parkinson to score a touchdown. I see what did you say was that DraftKings?
5-1.
5-1. Yeah, 5-1's consensus.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I like him to score a touchdown at 5-1. A guy I mentioned who's good after the catch for the Giants, who is going to probably see an increased role. It was his first game back. He had 4 receptions. He was targeted, I think, 6 times. I'm gonna go with Wan'Dale Robinson. What is this? Plus 650 for that. I think he'll find the end zone yards after the catch type of touchdown. So I like that. That's for anytime touchdown score. Those are the two I like the most.
I'm going to double down on Darren Waller plus 195. Again, like we mentioned, that they have really struggled against the tight end position. Have the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think he scored a touchdown yet this season. So I think this might be. Yeah,
the Giants ain't scored. The Giants ain't scored many.
Yeah, not in the first half at least. So I think this might be the game, whether it's in the first half or the second half, for Darren Waller to find the end zone. I mean, that number's at plus 195, so it's kind of telling on what the books kind of think here of him finding the end zone. Mm-hmm. I'll go with DJ as well. I think that he's going to be able to utilize his legs in this game. Daniel Jones, if you want to go first touchdown plus 850, I mean, I don't love that because it's first touchdown, but anytime touchdown right now is at plus 120 over on DraftKings. And let me see if you find a better number here.
Who was it that you were looking for?
DJ, Daniel Jones.
I see. Yeah, it's pretty like 550.
Yeah, I see 2-1 at Caesars. That might be the best number for him to score a touchdown. But
I'm looking at first touchdown. I'm sorry.
Yeah. First touchdown right now is I see plus 850 over on DraftKings.
Yeah, man, they got him at FanDuel minus 110 to score a touchdown on Daniel Jones.
Wow,
that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'll give that out, and then I think Disley might be sneaky if he does play in this game. I know we like the tight ends for the Seattle Seahawks. His first touchdown, 35-1, and then 7-1 for any time touchdown. And like you mentioned, Kobe Parkinson plus 650 at any time touchdown, 35-1 for first touchdown. So maybe one of those two tight ends can find the end zone for us as far as the first touchdown in this game.
Yep.
Lonte, let's wrap it up, my friend, with best bets for this Monday Night Football game. What is your best bet for the game between the Giants and the Seahawks?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm not even gonna need the points. I'm gonna go Giants money line. Let's see what the best price I can get is. Let's see, Giants money line. Oh, I'm already looking ahead to week fucking 5. Let's see.
Giants best price. Let me see here. I see up to plus 114 is the best number. That's over at DraftKings, actually.
I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it plus 114 on the Giants. I think they got a really good shot to win the game. This is probably one of the, looking at their schedule, it's probably going to be the most winnable game they have in the next, let me see. I'll just rattle real quick. I'll just rattle off the schedule.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to show that it's going to be a tough rolling for them. So they got the Dolphins. They got back-to-back road games, Dolphins, Bills. The Commanders are, it's at home, but the Commanders are playing really well right now. I guess the Jets will be a winnable game. They go to Las Vegas, and it's the Cowboys. So yeah, this is like one of 2 winnable games in the next month for them. So this is a really big spot for Dayball and those guys. So I think they want to get on track here. This is a big spot for them. I think they win the game outright.
Yeah, again, this is a good spot for them. I think they have to come out and play well, and I think that if they're able to come out and set the tone, in the first half, like we mentioned numerous times on the pod, that they haven't been able to find the end zone in the first half. We'll find out what this Giants team is about right as that opening kickoff goes, because I think if you're Brian Dable, you win that coin toss. I want the football. I want to try to go down there and score and set the tone for this game. All right, for my best bet, I'm just going to go with a player prop, man. I think Daniel Jones over 220 and a half passing yards as my best bet. We mentioned the three quarterbacks that the Seattle Seahawks defense has faced. All three of those quarterbacks have gone over 320 plus passing yards. And I think this is a game where if the Giants want to win, I think it's going to be on the shoulders and also the legs of Daniel Jones. So I think 220 and a half currently over on FanDuel is the best number you can get. I like this all the way up to 231 and a half. That's where the range is right now. 220 if at 231 and a half, but I think he definitely can get over this number for the New York Giants. So I'll go Daniel Jones over 220 and a half passing yards as my best bet. First side, I'm with Lonte. I like the Giants here as well. If you want to tease them up as well, 6.5 point teaser can get you about a +8. And then if you want to pair that with something for next week or leave it open as far as a teaser goes, I think that's a good spot as well. But definitely. I think the Giants, should come out here and play well on their home turf. Because again, like Lonte mentioned, it's a difficult schedule for the Giants for the rest of the season. All right, Lonte, that's going to do it, my friend, for this Monday Night Football betting preview. Anything else you want to get off your chest before we get out of here?
Nah, man, let's hope the Giants can get a win so this network can be back in a good mood, man. I don't like seeing this network down, man. I know Kramer's having a hard time on the flagship show. So let's hopefully we can get this win and get on the right track here. Because it's gonna be a brutal next few weeks, and those games in the AFC East, those are road games. So we go back to back, Miami, Buffalo. So that's tough. That's not a good spot. It's not a good spot.
Yeah, definitely not. So I didn't realize how many actual not Cowboys fans, but Giants fans we had on the network. But yeah, hopefully for y'all's sake, they do get the victory here, because if they don't, they drop to 1-3. I'm gonna be flexing my muscles a little bit. My Texans are 2-2. With the rookie quarterback, rookie head coach. We're getting the job done. But pleasure as always, Lonte. Again, if you haven't already left us a rating and review for the NFL Gambling Podcast, please go ahead and do so. You make sure to follow Lonte on Twitter at xxlonteXX. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsNerd824. We'll be back next Monday as usual. Looking ahead, let's see who plays next Monday night. It's going to be.
Do we have a good one? We have Packers Raiders. Oh shit.
Oh golly, Jordan Love and Jimmy Garoppolo. God bless.
If Jimmy play, honestly, look, they might be. It might be an upgrade at quarterback with Aiden McConnell.
Man.
It might be, man.
I'm not going to argue against it. I'm taking Devontae Adams heavy for the Sunday afternoon game on his receiving props, because the guy's just an animal against the Chargers. But definitely, Packers Raiders next Monday night. We'll handicap it as usual for the NFL Gambling Podcast. All right, guys, good luck with your bets this week. Let's break these books off and let it ride.